Synchronicity University has an incredible January 2024 and year of 2024 coming up. And for a very limited time, you can choose your tuition rate as low as just $5 a class for superstar astrologers like Stormy, Grace, Cameron Allen, and so many more. Keep an eye out for our upcoming programs. This is the moment, this is the time to cultivate greater love and wisdom and knowledge and insight to your astrological practice. SynchronicityUniversity.com, links are in the description below. Hello, fabulous superstar Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2023. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boy, is this a very special time. Well, it is going to be on the 12th of the month that we have this month's new moon. This new moon takes place at the foundation of your chart, having to do with the home and the past and your living situation as well. Your family of origin is covered here. Now, I want to say this. The day after, well, actually about 6 hours after the new moon, we have Mercury going retrograde. And it is going to be on the 23rd of the month that Mercury retrograde is going to move back into this foundational part of your sky, going direct January 1st. Once we navigate to the very beginning of a brand new year, whatever's transpiring mid-month now is going to look different. And so it's a good idea to keep that in perspective because the energies are a little mixed. And it's not fun to consider energies being mixed, especially where it is that you want to feel a sense of stability, right where you are at home, and with those very valuable relationships with your family of origin. And this is also about being at peace with your past, being at peace within your own body, within your own skin. So the new moon, I want to say as well, this new moon is speaking in supreme harmony with the North Node. And what that suggests is whatever is taking place, it is a part of some unfolding of greater love and greater wisdom. It is part of fulfilling those soul level promises you made to yourself and to other people as well. It is so important to trust this time. Neptune is square this new moon. There might be an element here of disappointment, but ultimately those disappointments can help set the stage for a positive set of developments that put you in a different place than you knew to be before, but ends up being a greater blessing than anything you could have imagined for yourself. So yes, Neptune squares this new moon. That suggests uncertainty, insecurity, even malaise, a desire for things to be different. Also a sense of energy draining can be part of this time as well. Again, I'm so sorry to say, but it does happen. Mars being close in the sky to this new moon does suggest that there's a certain impulsive or maybe urgent quality to what is taking place now. And so a matter may come up very quickly, and then you have to address it where it comes to what's happening at home in some way. It's a new moon, which brings with it new possibilities and new hopes and new desires and new seeds being planted. But again, that retrograde Mercury, it does suggest that things are not as clear just yet. And as much as you want to jump on what's new, it might be a good idea to just wait just a little bit as whatever's happening. Like maybe you feel like, yeah, you want to move and you're sure that's the place you're supposed to be. And then it's possible that you get the place or you don't get the place, but you end up in the place and you're not really sure you like it. Like these are the types of things that can happen. But if it feels like some place you really wanted to move isn't coming together, that might actually be a massive blessing. It might feel like you really want to be with your family of origin in some way. You want to spend time with them, which is a beautiful intention. But if it feels like certain connections aren't happening or you're not able to really relate the way that you hoped, don't worry about that as well. You'll be able to figure that out in the weeks ahead, just around the corner. And you'll get a chance to have those conversations and find points of clarity, especially as we move into the last week of the month. And if it is that you are reconciling with your past in some way, it seems like there's a lot of emotion. There might be a lot of tears as well. However, you may come to see what feels so sad now differently right around the corner, realizing that as beautiful as your emotions are, maybe there's misunderstandings, miscommunication, or maybe it's just you that has been seeing things a certain way instead of realizing that everything ultimately is about your empowerment and your peace. Peace might feel hard to find under the light of the new moon, but don't worry, you will get there. And get there, do we ever? The 27th of the month features this month's full moon, and that full moon takes place in a friendship part of your sky. This is one of the more fortunate full moons that I have seen in a good long time, in a while. The full moon is happening in a part of the sky for you that speaks to bigger opportunities than you knew before, camaraderie, joining groups professionally and personally. Considering that, here we get not just big blessings, but another area of life under the same sky is getting huge blessings with one of the more fortunate days of the year happening. And it is with the sun speaking in supreme harmony with Jupiter. And the sun is going to be in a part of the sky that has to do with luck. It has to do with wild luck and windfalls. It has to do with a sense of play and fun and happiness and children or being a big kid. And it has to do with fulfillment, including creative fulfillment as well. All of these areas are very blessed at the same time. So we have this very aspirational quality of the full moon. And then we have one of the more luckiest days of the year, blessing an area of luck in your chart. And so part of this sense of moving in a more lofty direction may very well be facilitated by the people that you know. Be open to possibilities, be open to social events. It is like the holiday season, so chances are there'll be invites, there'll be places to go. Interactions with friends can have a certain happenstance to them, a certain synchronistic quality to them that open up greater blessings for you. And Saturn is speaking in supreme harmony with this full moon as well. And what that suggests is what changes now, what makes progress now. It has the potential to bless your life for a very long time to come, potentially for years to come at that. Where it comes to matters of love, let's talk about love, because part of the Mercury retrograde season takes place with Mercury moving through a heart-oriented part of the sky. In fact, it is the first 23 days of this month. We start on the 1st with Mercury moving in here while in shadow, on the 13th going retrograde here, before leaving while retrograde briefly on the 23rd. It is going to be in January that we are going to get that Mercury re-entering that heart, flirtatious, romantic part of your sky. You are one of the signs that needs to be mindful that breakups that happen now tend to not stay broken up. For those of you open to meeting someone new, reconnecting with people from the past, especially once that retrograde takes place mid-month, becomes very possible now. What I do like about this placement of Mercury is that Mercury is making harmonious connections to Saturn and supremely harmonious connections to Jupiter as part of the larger sense of energy in this heart-oriented part of the sky. Where the energy gets tricky is in that home part of the sky, although you'll find a way to work through that, as we spoke about when I talked about the new moon. It is when Mercury is in that flirtatious part of the sky that Mercury is actually in a strong position. And so be open to the possibilities. I think it is flirtation and romance that in some way is going to expand your horizons, restore your faith. And it's a good idea to put yourself in positions where you know you'll be able to get your flirt on. Someone you meet may not be what you think, whether it's the connection or who they are, and yet the experience can be valuable, and yet it could turn out to be better, especially once we get into January. With energy like this, it's a good idea not to go with your first instinct, but rather, unless you're seeing red flags, give it just a little bit of a chance and see where the energy takes you. For those of you just starting to date somebody, again, misunderstandings become very possible, so just be mindful. But because the energy is so hopeful when Mercury is in this heart-oriented part of the sky, I think the inclination isn't necessarily going to be misunderstandings so that the two of you aren't getting along, so that there's tension. But rather, the misunderstandings lend themselves to things accelerating or becoming very hopeful about the possibilities. Whatever the relationship might look like, especially at the retrograde around the 13th and the days around it, you may see it differently. Again, it could end up better. If it feels like this isn't necessarily a connection and you're thinking about going in a different direction or you're connecting with new people, well, once we get into January, you may look at the events now in matters of heart very differently in some way. And for those of you in an established bond, this heart-oriented energy is more oriented around what you need to feel loved. And if you feel like you have that. Overall, when Mercury is in this heart-oriented part of the sky for you, it does suggest that you are feeling the love. If it is that you have felt for a while that maybe you're not in the right relationship for you, either there's some flirtation or something happening outside of the relationship, or this energy is one of faith. Now, that faith might be in the connection itself, in moving through this time, enjoying each other's company. It might be faith of contemplation that you can go in a different direction as well. I would say, though, knowing what it is that you really want to do, I think that's going to become more clear once we navigate a little bit further, just a couple of weeks into a brand new year, which is right around the corner. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a valuable and meaningful astrological moment. I am going to say I love the energies of this full moon, right? Really, I think it is the star of the show. But the fact that the sun is going to trine Jupiter on the same day, it speaks volumes to feeling a sense of possibility and your own willingness to take a chance, to take a risk. This is a heart-oriented energy that is lit up and expanded thanks to that beautiful Jupiterian energy coming in. And so do something that is genuinely fun for you to do. Do something where your heart is in it. And chances are there'll be even more possibilities for your heart and your joy and your fun and love to expand. Thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each week for each sign for just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com, where you get expanded, exclusive horoscopes, access to live events. Higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity, university events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Well, I hope you have a wonderful end of year. I hope you have an incredible full moon. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.